Lagos Television. And on this side, we'll be discussing post-primaries APC as a united entity. Now, the conduct of party primaries is often seen as a major test of internal democracy and party cohesion. But how crucial is it for parties to, for political parties to maintain unity despite the intense competition witnessed during the exercise? Again, for the primaries, you have winners and you have losers. And that is something that is static. Joining us on the conversation, to take us through this topic and then share insight on this topic, we are joined by a politician, and he is also a political affairs analyst, Tayo Orekoya. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Always a delight to have you join us on the conversation. Okay, so yes, the post-primaries, the APC primaries is our focus on the conversation today. But how would you assess the overall conduct of the APC primaries?
Well, I'd like to say the conduct of the APC primaries achieved a near excellent performance.
Near excellence.
That deepened internal democracy, that made it possible to have openness and enabled, aspiring members of the party to actually come out, sell their candidature to the members of the party, and the party was able to come out strongly, in observance of the Electoral Act, party election guidelines, and the Constitution of the Federal Republic. So at the end of the day, it has confirmed that APC is an organized party, and it is a party of the people. You can see the mass mobilization across the nation, from the House of Assembly elections to the House of Reps, governorship, the Senate, and of course the presidential primaries. Indeed, for the presidential primaries, you would have observed that we actually had to go into direct primaries. And so it is a confirmation that this is a party that is viable, that is strong and ready to achieve victory in the coming general elections.
Like I said, primaries are to strengthen internal democracy. But again, I want you to really dig deep now, because again, the primaries means that there were more than one persons who were vying for a particular position. Yeah. And of course, we know that there were some people who wanted to go for a particular position and all that. So I'd like you to also assess how the party was able to resolve this, because again, joining in with this question, how important is it for the party to ensure that they remain united even after the primaries?
Okay, first, I'd like to say that from based on the Electoral Act, there were two options of, going through the primaries. The first is either by consensus or direct primaries. In a number of situations, right, we had, the aspirants agreeing to consensus, but again, in line with the Electoral Act, where even just one aspirant does not agree and sign off, then we had to go to direct primaries. And that's why across the nation, you will see that there were a good number of direct primaries. But for us, we in APC, what we have identified is the need to ensure cohesion, integration after the primaries. And, we have the procedures for that, right from the national level, right? We have the internal conflict resolution mechanisms, in which case we have, committees that have been put together to actually ensure there is reconciliation. Don't forget, you see, while we have individual members who are aspiring, and of course, during the primaries, there will be contestations and all that. But that does not mean there is crisis in the party, because these mechanisms make it possible for us to be able to employ reconciliation, consultation, and also integration. Because once the primaries are over, that is when the real work begins. Right, so we need to bring everybody together. So at the national level, at the state level, at the local government level, and indeed up to the ward levels. Right, we have these reconciliation mechanisms, and of course, every aspirant is important and valuable to the overall victory of the party.
Yes, I really like that you said that there is a reconciliation mechanism that the party has put in place.
Yeah, right.
But again, when we look at what is happening in other political parties after their primaries and the issues that have emanated from them, what lessons do you think APC can learn and say, okay, if there is a hole or there is a crack in the wall, we need to fix this?
Well, definitely, you see, the difference between APC and the other parties is quite wide. And as you would have seen, APC is the best organized, most viable, and forward-looking political party, not only in Nigeria, but in Africa. And I stand to be corrected. I mean, when you look at the structure of the party, when you look at, you know, the forward-looking nature of the party, right from its leadership, you know, our chairman, Professor Nentawe Iwalda, right, is not just an academic, he's an experienced politician and is a leader. And then look at the president, who is the leader of the party, a visionary leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, transformative leader, you know, who is a master strategist. Right, you will see that the party has been able to maintain a balance. Right, when we were having our congresses, right, some skeptics predicted that there would be implosion after the congresses. But you would have seen that there was quiet, there was calm, and the party, you know, is still strongly together. Ditto for the primaries. Yes, I mean, you would have a few disagreements here and there, but if you look at it, you would see, as is to be expected, wherever there is competition or contestation, you would have disagreement, you will have probably conflict. But in terms of numbers, for example, we had over 6,000 aspirants, you know, in APC across these primaries, right from the state assembly elections up to the presidential primaries. And why is this so? Because these aspirants know that APC is the party to beat, is the party that is most viable, is the party that is strongest, is the party that is organized. And so you find out in some instances, I was speaking to somebody, I think that was yesterday night, he called me, one of the aspirants for House of Representatives in Kwara State, and I asked him, how many aspirants were you people for that position? He said 15 aspirants, and
from the same party,
in the same party for one position, and these are eminently qualified people, right? So but what you would have seen is even after that, you know, after the primaries, they have been able to come together. The party realizes how important every one of these people are. But the fact that we had such a large number emphasizes, you know, the importance of mass mobilization. Because during the primaries, we'll have seen that some of these aspirants have actually been working, some for months, some for years. They have their loyalists and all that. These are members of the party. So for us, we are able to hold strong. And you will have seen that it is the opposition that is having the implosion. Right. Even before the end of the primaries, you saw in ADC, right, Peter Obi and Kwankwaso pulled out, right? They went into the NDC. And of course, even in ADC, before the conclusion of the primaries, you saw Alhaji Mohammed Ayatollah saying that this is unacceptable. He would not attend the declaration of the results. You have an Amici saying that this is fraud. Right. So, but look at APC. You hardly had anything like that. And where we have some disagreements, the party is working consciously to bring our people together.
I still want to dwell on the, what did you call it again? Something mechanisms of the party to ensure that
There are conflict resolution
mechanisms.
mechanisms.
Thank you so much. And so again, it's one thing to settle conflict between the aspirants. It's another to settle between their loyalists, the grassroots party members.
That's
and so
right.
what is the party doing to draw the line between discipline and reconciliation when it has to do with these disputes?
Well, you see, the first issue is this. Usually, after the primaries, you have people that are probably dissatisfied. And of course, in some cases, you have, this tendency to say, oh, should I look out? However, right, I think wise counsel prevails when you look at not just short-term gains. You look at the future. You look at how viable a party like the APC is. You look at the fact that the opportunities for the future are there. But beyond that, talking about the followership, the first thing is to be able to galvanize, the aspirants who did not win, right? I don't want to call them losers because there are no losers, right? Because, this is internal, right? So, is to, bring them together. And you see, what happens is that usually when you're able to get them together, there are consultations, there is respect, then you engage them such that such aspirants move from being opponents to become partners of the winner, right? Through stakeholder engagement. Then you now do integration. During the campaign, putting together the campaign structure, the campaign committee, you ensure that in consultations with those leaders, you're able to bring their members into positions within the party campaign structure. And not only that, they are able to volunteer their own ideas, opinions that will be respected. And the honest truth is this: when such aspiring members that didn't win are taken into confidence, you'll find out that there is cohesion. There is that team spirit, which now elevates the party interest over and above personal aspirations. And of course, their followership would follow. They would tune in, seeing that there is respect, and not just for the aspirant, also for their members, for their loyal members across the line, at the state level, at the local government level, even at the world level. All these bring about cohesion and integration.
You've touched a bit on the next question I want to ask you, but again, you will expand on it. And so again, what should be the priorities of the APC leadership now? Because the party primaries done and dusted. Moving on, campaign is what is in front now. So what should be the priorities of the party leadership?
The priority of the party is to ensure that, one, we are one formidable force, right? Winners and people that probably did not win coming together. And not only that, to look at how do we ensure that we are able to not only achieve victory, because by the grace of God we would achieve victory, but we are able to achieve victory at a very high number, that it will be obvious that, this is a remarkable victory. And not just that, we should be able to actually ensure that there is a lot of awareness of the achievements of Mr. President, of the governors at the various states, and then to ensure that there is no complacency. Right, there is no complacency. We must make sure, across the nation we have about 8,809 wards, about 176,846 polling units. And of course, all politics is local. So we have to ensure that at every polling unit, we are able to deliver sizable number of voters that will vote for our party, so that we can achieve overwhelming victory. And not just that, we must ensure that we continue to deliver good governance, because the essence of seeking political party is to be of service to the people. And for us at the APC, we want to continue to deliver, just like Mr. President has done. Not just short, medium term benefits to the people, but long-term, benefits that would even go beyond this generation, right? So, I mean, these are the immediate focus of the party.
So responding to my question, some of the things you mentioned, I noted them down and I want you to respond to them. You talked about trusting, so it's embodied in trust in the government. And so you mentioned good governance, you mentioned overwhelming victory, you mentioned service to the people. Now I'll tie this down to this question. People feel their votes don't count. Do people have lost trust in the government? And if you go on the streets now and ask randomly, this is my own opinion, some people might not share the same views with you when you look at the present situation that is going on. Yes, the government of the day has said, oh, these reforms are what we need. Yeah, we see them talk about it in paper, but when you come to reality, do we really feel the impact of these reforms? And so again, so I'm tying it down again, that's like 2 or 3 in one questions now. Voter apathy as well, because the elections are coming next year, and if people feel my votes don't count, why do I need to come out and vote? I don't trust this government. What do you like to say to that?
Well, I would want to say that I don't share your opinion because I do know that one, our party, in terms of its registration, valid registration that was actually taken through NIMSI, the National Identity Management Commission, right, in verifying membership of the party. Way back by February, we were able to deliver 12.7 million party members. And these party members are people who, of course, are part of the Nigerians you're talking about. And they have seen what this government is doing, and they are committed.
What about people who are not your party members?
Now, don't forget that beyond that, there are a lot of people that have benefited from this government. Apart from these 12.7 million people, the students, NEL Fund, we have about 1.5 million students that have benefited. Don't forget that these people have parents, right? When you add that, I mean, these are people, a good number of them are indigent students that did not actually know that they were going to be able to probably pay their tuition. Today, not only have they been able to access the tuition, they get bursary, 20,000 every month. Which party will they vote for? Not just that. Look at the various infrastructural projects being handled by this government. Is it the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road that is engaging thousands of people? Is it the Sokoto-Lagos highway, right? Is it the rail line that is going to Maradi in Niger Republic? Now, not just that. We have the health schemes. We have the gas pipeline projects. People are getting employment, and these people are actually benefiting, and they will reward us with their votes. So I do know that. Not just that. Look at the position way back in 2023. How many governors did we have in APC? How many? Right? Probably about 22 or thereabouts. Today we have 31 governors. Not just that. Apart from just 2 governors, the other 3 governors, making 34 out of 36, are supporting Mr. President. So when you factor in how many National Assembly members did APC have before this? Before now. Today, we have over 90 members in the Senate, in the House of Representatives. The numbers are astronomical. So we know that the victory is assured, but we must continue to work to improve the lives of our people. One is not saying that there are no pains. There are pains, but of course, like I've always said on this program, you cannot make an omelette without breaking an egg. it is exactly the same thing. You cannot have the joy of a childbirth without going through the pains of labor. All we are appealing to Nigerians is, let us just bear some of these pains. Look at the projects that Mr. President has been implementing. Now, you talked about the removal of the fuel subsidy. At the time this government came into office, the economy was in shambles. We were at the edge of the precipice. If that action was not taken, probably the economy, of course, would have gone bonkers. And today, I mean, nobody can tell what will have been happening, because the federal government was not able to pay salaries at that time. I mean, it had to be going to the CBN to print naira notes using ways and means. The state governments were borrowing to pay salaries. Some were owing 6 months, 7 months salaries. Today, all the state governments are paying salaries. Right. The economy is buoyant. Looking at all the indices, the foreign exchange rate has become stabilized. Companies can plan. Look at the results of companies. Look at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The exchange has been going the upward trend. Look at foreign investors' confidence. Right. So, you see, it goes beyond just the immediate pains. We must get to a position that we're able to see that, look, this is about the future of the country. This is about generations yet unborn. This is about, I mean, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road had been on the drawing board for over 40 years. From the time of Alhaji Shehu Shagari, President Shagari, at that time, no president had the boldness, the courage to be able to address it. No president had the courage to remove this first subsidy. But God has blessed us with a president who is a visionary leader, who is a transformational leader, who can, take the bull by the horns. Yes, there could be some temporary pains, but at the end of the tunnel, definitely there is light.
Okay, I would also remember what my guest said last Monday here. He said that we are in a surgical process at the moment.
Exactly.
And that after the surgery,
it has to be painful, but
how long will the pains?
Sorry?
How long will the pains last?
Yeah, well, you see, as you would have seen, actually the pains were already going down. When you look at inflation, which was about 34%, came down to about 16.1 and 15.5%. But for the US-Iranian war, that affected the global economy, right? That was what caused a little reverse. But you will have seen, in terms of the foreign exchange rate, it was 1,700 at a time, right? For a long time, it has come down to about 1,350 thereabouts. That tells, and it has been stable. Companies have now been able to plan. When you see the results of companies quoted on the exchange, you would have seen that things are definitely looking up. No wonder the World Bank, Fitch rating, everybody sees that this government is on the right path. What would any member of the opposition change that we are doing now? That is the question you should ask them. And of course, you can see they are not ready. They are not ready. I mean, they went to Ibadan for a conference. They said they signed a communique. We are going to present one candidate. That's the opposition. Now they have come up, now they are in splinter groups. They have about 6 presidential candidates. That tells you something. These are people that cannot actually stay the course. Unlike our own leader, the president, when he was one man standing, he stood and he was able to fight back to get all those states, Oyo, Ondo, Ogun, Edo, and all that. Today, look at the political map of Nigeria. The entire South is with the APC.
Okay.
The entire North Central with the APC. Go to the Northwest, they are with APC. Go to Northeast. So, we are sure. In fact, what we need to be mindful of, which I said earlier, is complacency. We must not be complacent. But the victory is sure.
Okay, I wanted to. My last question was: are you optimistic that APC will emerge stronger? But you have answered my question already, because the time is not on our side. But again, thank you so much, Tayo Orekoya, politician and political affairs analyst, for sharing insights on APC as a united entity, looking at the post Primaries. Thank you so much
It's
for
my
your
great
time.
pleasure. Joy, thank you.
The program continues. Stay with us.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State Government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying with Lagos Television.